All right, in this video, we're going to talk about Fidelity. What exactly is it, and the effects that it has on the airwaves. All right, so one thing to keep important, or is important, you should keep in mind. Just all this information. Tuck it back in back of your mind. In the end, do what you want to do. You do you. No big deal to me. But things you should be aware of. All right, so as we go forward here. 10kc, the CB band, here it is, takes up a total space, each channel, 10kc, all right? Now, in general, when we talk about the audio we're going to put on the carrier, say I'm doing 5kc of audio. I'm going to put 5kc worth of audio on the carrier. If I do that, on AM, it's going to take up 10kc total occupied bandwidth, all right? So you double that. So if I'm going to say I'm going to put 10kc worth of audio on the carrier, well, now it's going to take up 20kc of frequency bandwidth on the air, and so you can see what that's gonna do. It's gonna bleed over to the other channels there. So keep that in mind. So in the end, you need a way to control that. So on my transmitter here, where are you there, buddy? I have my bandpass filter. So no matter what I'm putting in, see I'm rolling down the 5kc right there. So if I'm putting 20kc worth of audio into the transmitter, because of this filter right here, it's gonna shave it down to only 5kc. All right. And same with if whatever external audio device you're using, something like the modulator, it does its job. It's going to pass everything you put into that thing. So you need to control that, and you might have to do that in the audio port in your whatever you use, rack gear. You may need to control that. So be aware there. Going forward, that's what I'm talking about, the bandwidth there. All right, let's get on into it. Oh, and by the way, I highly recommend, if you think you're interested in this, I highly recommend. I keep waving this thing around. Look, I highly recommend getting into the SDR receiver, starting to learn how to use them, because it's amazing. It really is. And this is where this stuff really shines. When you get into transmitting like this, and somebody else has an SDR receiver, that's where it's really cool. So something quiet evening, not too many people on the band. That's you can really have fun, really roll everything wide open, and it sounds awesome. But all right, let's get on into it. All right, everybody. I want to talk about Fidelity. I'm sure everybody's heard about the hi-fi sound. So instead of me talking about it, you're going to get a chance to see and hear it. All right, much better than just an explanation. All right, so anybody who's thinking about getting into the hi-fi arena there, what do you think the limiting factor is? Most people think what the limiting factor is. Is it rack gear? Is it the microphone? Is it VST software? Is it these stickers? No, because these stickers are awesome. It is the receivers in everybody's shack. The common receiver out there in DX land, your locals. And by the way, special thanks to Chief made. Mio fratello, bellissima, grazie mille. Right there, baby. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description here. But, all right, so let's get on into it. Enough talking. Okay, here we go. I'll explain what's going to go on here. Okay, so on my other computer, I'm going to pipe in the first few seconds of a song, all right? So what you'll be listening to is the original source, all right? So kind of get your ears used to that, okay? At the same time, I'm going to key up and hit record, all right? Record the first few seconds of the song. Okay, then I'm going to stop everything, all right? Then I'm going to key up and I'm going to actually transmit. This is what you're seeing is actually my transmitter, doing its thing, but into a dummy load, all right? But the thing is, I'm going to lower my bandpass filter way down to like 3kc, all right? And during the playback, you're going to hear how that affects the audio. Very low fidelity, and then we're going to work our way up. We'll go 3kc to 5kc, like 8, 10, 12, and up to 15kc, and you'll be able to hear at what point do we get to the original source, how it sounds. I know everybody's ears are different, so it might be at different points than for other people. But all right, here we go. I'm going to hit record first, and then sorry, I got to work with two keyboards and two Mises here. All right, here we go. I can hit record and then play. All right, here we go. Okay, there you go. All right, let's whack this down on the playback to, what are we doing here? Okay, here comes 3KC. All right, it's not going to sound too good, but we're taking up very little frequency space. But here we go. 3KC. Okay, let's bump that up to 5KC. At this point, we will be filling up one CB channel. 5KC on either side of the carrier. Total space is 10KC. Okay, so we go with the 5KC audio. It'll sound a little bit better, but still far from what we call, high fidelity. 5KC. Okay, let's bump that up to, let's go to 7. Okay. Now, starting to get gradually better, but with the sacrifice that we're taking, starting to take up a lot of space on the band. Okay, here we go, 7KC. Starting to hear some of the mid highs. Okay, all right, let's get people angry. We're gonna 10KC. Oh, we're gonna get angry now. Here we go. All right, 10KC, taking up a total of 20 kilohertz total occupied space on the band. 2 CB channels. There we go. 10KC. All right, that sounds good, but it's not quite there yet. So at least in my opinion, it starts to get there after once you go over 12KC, at least like 12.5. But let's go ahead and do 12KC. All right, we're getting there. Here we go. All right, let's do 2 more. All right, just about there. Let's here 13. See if anybody notices differences. Testing their ears. The 13KC is about the top where I can hear. So, all right, 13KC. Now we're really taking a lot of frequency bandwidth, but it sounded really good. The sacrifice comes from somewhere. Okay, here we go. 13. All right, and lastly, let's do 15KC. I can't hear a difference here. Maybe somebody out there was watching this cam. 15KC. There, okay, after I play this, and then I'll play the original source and compare them. right after. Okay, so here we go. Here's my transmitter transmitting 15 kc wide. It's going to take up 30 kc of total space on the band. All right, here we go. Yeah, 15 kc. Okay, and here's the original source. Okay, and then, so I'm juggling keyboards and things. Okay, one more time with my transmit, 15 kc. So there you go. I don't know if it depends on the person's ears. That's pretty darn close to the original source, and that's what we mean by fidelity, trueness to the original source. So there you go. All right, I'll be back. All right, so there was that little experiment there, and if you are planning on someday using something like this, you gotta be aware of something I haven't heard too many people talk about. I mean, it works as it should. It'll pass everything. If you're doing 20 kilohertz of audio, it's gonna pass it. So you're going to take up twice the amount on the band. So if you're doing 5 kc of audio, putting 5 kc of audio on the carrier on AM, it's gonna you double that to get the total space you're going to occupy. So yeah, it depends. Depends what time of day, or just like the ham bands. Sometimes you can roll those filters open wide, and when it gets really busy, you narrow them in. It has its uses, and when you know when to use it. But yeah, you need to control it. You have to have filters. On my transmitter, I have my band pass filter. On something like that modulator, you might have to do that in the audio portion to narrow that down to 5 kc if you want to keep it all on the channel. In fact, you might have to roll it up and even a little bit narrower, maybe like 4.6 kc, because it's going to roll off. By the time it rolls off, you might bump into the other channel. It's something to be aware of. Yeah, these receivers here, the limiting factor is most of these I've tested a lot of radios. Most of them here 4.6 kc of audio that I'm transmitting. But actually, this sucker here, this little Cobra 25 LTD, I cannot believe it. It will hear every bit of my 5 kc audio easily. It's freaky. It's a shame these CB receivers. The quality of these things are all over the place. Even same manufacturer, same model, same factory. 2 radios will be drastically different on the receive, so keep that in mind. So, and this one here, my Chief made. This sucker here, this thing here, I tested this today. I started testing it. I tested it down. It hears easily down to 40 cycles. That's crazy. Whereas my Galaxy, it won't hear anything below 100. When you get any change, you just don't hear it. But it's down near 40. It's crazy. But awesome radio. Thanks, Chief. But all right, there's a little explanation of fidelity and about what to watch out for of keep putting too much audio on a carrier. So there it is. KP68. Your crazy mad scientist here. Check you later.